Hey guys, what's up? Once again, it is MP4Podcast.com bringing you guys some of the most interesting video game news that you guys really do need to know about. Now, there's been 13 Steam machines that have been announced at CES. This is a little bit crazy, and I was kind of hoping for a low, medium, high model where, you know, let's say they call the low-end Steam machine Steam, the Steam Xeron, whatever, and then that would be the low end, and then the Steam whatever you want to flight path. You know, the middle one would be called a flight path. I'm just making up names out of my head. And the high end would be the Steam Ultra Box. You know what I'm saying? Make it kind of similar where the low end machines could all be made by you know different companies, and then the high end system. I mean, the middles could also be made by like a whole bunch of different companies, and then the top tier ones would also be made by the high end ones. But the low end ones, like, and I'm going to agree with Review Tech USA, that games that come out for Steam machines on the low end would have to still hit around 30 frames per second. Now, I know even on Xbox 360, PS3, yeah, those games sometimes do drop below 30 frames. Sometimes they're hitting even the teens, and they're still okay. I mean, they're still playable. Sometimes they'll drop for a second, then they'll bump right back up to 30 or so. And I think that would have been a really good solution for the Steam machine to have, you know, an A, B, and C category. But as of right now, if we're gonna just look right here, these are all completely all over the map. Completely all over the map. And you know, they're all different prices, anywhere from 500 to 2,000. I think Review Tech USA said there was one for 6,000. I can't remember. I could be wrong about that. But I don't know how these games are going to be optimized. And let me just give you an example. Like, I haven't reviewed any iOS games in a while, but you know, I have an iPod Touch 4th generation, which I think is about 3 years old now. I think it's 3 years old. It plays basic games still, you know, like your basic Angry Birds types of games, but it really doesn't play any of the new higher end games at all. The hardware is just too old, and it was starting to have that problem even last year when the new iPod Touch came out, or the new iPhone, or whatever. I'm afraid that these Steam machines might be like that, where you're going to buy this machine like a PC, and then within 2 to 3 years, if you buy the low end one, it could be out of date. Now, Apple, I know, you know, they have, like, you know, their iPad Mini, their iPod Touch. It's all the same until the next year's version comes up. You can kind of see where I'm coming from. You're going to have, you know, games that are going to be coming out from like Armor 3 or Armor 4, whatever. I think it's Armor 4 that they're working on now. That game is going to be completely amazing. And let's say, you know, that game says, okay, you need 8 gigs of RAM, or even 16 gigs of RAM, or 12, whatever the number is. You need an i7 4, 8 core, or whatever, to run it, and you know, whatever. You need all these specs, right? So, you know, you buy the low-end Steam machine, right? And it's running at maybe 30 frames per second, whatever. It's barely running. And then Armored Core 5 comes out 2 years down the road from now. It even has higher specs. And that low-end Steam machine won't even play it. Let's find a low-end one, like the Cyber Power PC. Won't play it. And I think Steam should have worked on having a more console-like experience, like the PS4, the Xbox One, and so on. Like I said, you have tiers, an A, B, and C model in a category. You have your low models, your medium models, and your high-end models. And a game that comes out 4 years from now has to work on the Steam machine at least 30 frames per second. Yeah, they can dip a little bit in the 20s and the teens if, you know, there's a lot of action. That happens on the PS3, the Xbox 360, and so on. with like, I don't know, like GTA 5. I mean, this frame drops in that game. But the game is still playable. It's still an enjoyable game. No, you don't want to play a game that's completely in 16 frames per second. That's ridiculous. But I'm talking about something dipping for a quick second and jumping back up. I'm okay with that. And that's where they should be going with the Steam Machine. And, you know, I remember when something like this almost happened, where we had different companies making video game consoles. It was the 3DO. I had a 3DO. I had the first model. Panasonic had the one with the draw popping out, and then they had a top lifter. And then Gold Star, which is now LG, they brought out a 3DO system. Then there was a Sanyo system that was only released in Japan, and then there was, I believe, one by Creative Labs. It was a PCI card that went into computers to play 3DO games. And that was, I think that might have been the worst one, because, you know, drivers, you had to install Windows drivers and all that other crazy jargon. But the other three machines, the Panasonic models, the Gold Star model, which is LG, like I said, and the Sanyo, were all the same hardware. And they could be manufactured by any company. You get a license, you can make a 3DO machine, and they'll work. Once in a while, you will run into some weird, wacko game not working correctly. Just give you an example, Mortal Kombat, the Sega CD. I think it didn't work when you bought the game. It didn't work on the one with the draw that popped out. They can change the one little chip on the motherboard when they're rewiring the board, which it can cause a problem. I think I've heard about problems like this with even the PS2, where the modem didn't work on some models or something like that. It's extremely, extremely rare when those things do happen, but it does happen. And I kind of wish we had a little bit more of this 3DO thing going on, and then have a little bit more of this, you know, Steam Machine, what they want to do. But it seems like this thing might be getting out of control. I'm still very interested in it. I just don't know where it's going to go, and I'm just going to hold off. Yeah, I might buy one, and I might not buy one. But I want to say this. I want to wish Steam the best of luck. I think it's a very brave move, and time will tell, I guess. So once again, guys, this has been mp4podcast.com signing out. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, leave a comment below, let me know what you guys are thinking. Take it easy, guys. Love you guys. Bye.